Asteroid mining, just to change gears, might sound like science fiction, but companies are already building ways to extract rare metals from space rocks. Those materials power phones, like we've just been talking about, batteries, electric vehicles, and researchers say the race is on to get them amid a lack of rules. Dr. Anna Brennan is Senior Lecturer in Law at the University of Waikato and joins us this morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks so much for having me.
Great to have you on the show. First of all, your name, you must get this all the time, has quite a lot in common with our Reserve Bank governor.
It does. It does. It does. And some people do get confused, but it's okay. We deal with two completely different things. I look at space and she looks after the bank.
Good to see you both keeping business down. Hey, tell us what's the legal situation with mining and from space?
Well, firstly, asteroid mining would involve sending smart robots to find, sample, and extract what we hope to believe an abundance of resources on these asteroids. But we have no rules governing how we approach this activity, how we monitor it, and we see that corporations at the forefront is no longer states. And actually, New Zealand is very much intertwined with this as well, because Dawn Aerospace, which operates on the South Island, has designed and manufactured the technology for a company called Asteroid, which is actually leading the way with asteroid mining. So we have very little rules at the international level. New Zealand is at the forefront, having environmental rules embedded into its space launch activities. But again, we have the UN Committee on the Peaceful Use of Outer Space that's really struggling at the moment to put in place those guidelines that we need for other states and corporations that perhaps aren't very mindful of the environmental impact of this endeavour.
So do we need to have some kind of rules, some sort of regulation, some sort of committee? I don't know.
Well, what I've proposed in my work is that we need a monitoring mechanism, and essentially that would involve a mechanism that's quite similar to the mechanism we have at the international level for deep seabed mining, that corporations can apply for licenses to extract materials, but that environmental considerations are taken into consideration, not only the environmental impact of outer space, but also trying to reduce the environmental footprint of launching these activities from Earth into outer space. At the end of the day, the goal of entities like NASA is to try and ensure that we can stay in space for longer and that we can conduct activities for longer. And what NASA believes, along with industrial partners, is that asteroids are that useful resource for water and fuel to make that happen.
And who control, if we have laws about asteroid mining in space, that's all very well, but who's going to police them?
Thing, and it's coming to a point that do we need an intergalactic council to regulate how we do all this? And in particular, how do we ensure that, yes, we advance in outer space, but also ensure that it doesn't have any impacts here? And there's a lot of questions as well around, these corporations, they're rocking up to these asteroids, they're extracting resources and they're profiting essentially from it. And outer space law is very clear that any resources extracted, any scientific endeavours must be for the benefit of all humankind, as it's termed. And how essentially are we going to be able to do this? And one way is perhaps having this monitoring mechanism in place to carefully examine, evaluate and monitor what corporations are doing in outer space.
Anna, lovely to have you on the program this morning. Thanks so much for being with me. And we'll see who, I can imagine Judith Collins would be very interested in this intergalactic council that you speak of. Really appreciate your time this morning. That's Dr. Anna Brennan, who's a Senior Lecturer at the University of Waikato.